Well, alrighty, so as many of us well know, Disney has been for the past couple of weeks holding off on the ticket sales to the upcoming live action plus animation Taika Peter Dinklage movie Snow White. And finally, they released it a couple of days ago. And you would think that by now that websites would be crashing over the fact that people just wanted to get this ticket as much as they possibly could. However, regardless of the fact that Disney has been putting out some weird marketing, such as cancelling the UK premiere for fear of anti-woke backlash, like we saw about a week ago or thereabouts, Disney won't be having a Snow White UK premiere in an attempt to avoid anti-woke backlash to the controversial adaptation. They also did the same thing with the Hollywood premiere as well. Disney scales back Snow White Hollywood premiere amidst Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot controversy. And that was Variety trying to rope Gal Gadot into this whole mess when Disney clearly knew that their main problem was right here, staring at you right here. And you can tell because when it also came to the posters, as me and you guys were discussing earlier on in another of my videos, well, the marketing was also shifting focus, trying to hide away Rachel Zegler and focus more on Gal Gadot. This was the initial poster where you get Snow White, and you can understand that when it comes to a Snow White movie, you should be getting Snow White front and center of all the marketings, right? But what did they do? After the first set of posters, they started to shrink Rachel Zegler because they knew the backlash was coming. And this particular poster was to that infamous trailer that got 1.1 million dislikes on YouTube, as it were. And then when they knew that the backlash was out of this world and a whole lot of people were rooting for Gal Gadot, what did we start seeing in the marketing? They started to include Gal Gadot into the marketing. And then this is when it started to get even more interesting. Many of you actually started pointing this out, that this was what you started seeing in your theaters. And when you take a look at this poster, it looks like as if it's a movie about the evil queen with Snow White being a side character. That's what it looks like to me. And even the IMAX marketing, the one that I saw in my theater, is actually even worse because they vandalized Rachel Zegler, as it were. And by vandalized, I mean they gave her the Finn treatment, you know, the Finn treatment that, you know, John Boyega's Finn got in that Force Awakening poster for China. Well, they're doing the same thing to Rachel Zegler, and the latest one is the worst one. Oh. You guys would not believe this, but this is what we get. Just the evil queen, right? I have never seen it. If you guys have seen it before in your life, where a movie about a titular character, like the title of the movie is the title of the main character without the main character on any of the official, I'm not talking about fan fiction posters, I'm talking about the official posters, you let me know. It's almost like having a Black Panther movie with M'Baku on the cover as the official marketing of a Black Panther movie. I've never seen it. It's just absolutely foreign to me. Now let's get down to the ticket sales itself. So I live out here in Perth, Western Australia, and there are going to be 2 cinemas that are actually going to be showing this. And the one closest to me, the one that I usually regularly go to, is this particular one. They have cheaper ticket sales than many of the other ones. And yeah, let's check out the cheaper ticket sales first and see what it looks like in the cinema as at this point in time. Now, as at the recording on this particular video, we only have 2 days to the release, to the previewing of this particular movie, and 3 days to the actual release. And what is going on in the cinema right here? We have about 5 seats, and it's a pretty big one. It's a pretty big cinema, right? So 5 seats for the 12:30 showing. Okay, we can make excuses for that. It's only 12:30 in the afternoon. What about the evening viewing, the 6 p.m. viewing at this particular point in time? Is it going to be any different? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 once again. Now, it's starting to look like as if it's the people that own the cinemas themselves that have bought these seats. To be honest with you guys, that's what it feels like to me, because how can you have 5 at 12 o'clock and have 5 seats at 3 o'clock as well? It just looks like it's kind of odd to me. But you know, that's just my guess at this particular point in time. And what about the 8:45 p.m.? What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just about 5 as well. And yeah, it's 5 seats. 5 seats. And what about the Gold Lounge, where, you know, you get more comfort, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy this movie in the best atmosphere? You can even order a beer in the Gold Lounge and so on and so forth. What do we have there? Well, 0. Absolutely 0. Because ain't nobody about to waste 40 dollars, 40 Australian dollars to watch this particular movie at this particular point in time, right? That's 12:30 viewership. Let's just go straight to 9 o'clock because I don't want to waste this guy's time. See if there's anybody buying anything from the Gold Lounge. 9 o'clock, this is the last viewing. Nobody's actually checking it out. Well, just for parity's sake, just for the sake of, you know, fulfilling all righteousness, as I always say. Let's check out the 6:15 p.m. viewership. Oh, hallelujah. It's got 2 seats. 2 seats. That's all we get. Now, I'm sure some of you might be saying, hey, Sire, well, it's Western Australia. You guys are like at the end of the world. You're like, you know, somewhere at the outskirts of the world. You might not be this interested. Well, in America, it's going to be a totally different story. Well, let's check out what is going on in the US of A and, you know, catch up with DA, Derek Anderson, YouTuber, who's also reporting on what's happening in his own area at the cinema ticket sales as well. Let's check this out.
Let's go with just a regular showing. Let's see what we got here. All right, so IMAX 7 p.m. Most people gonna be off work. Let's see how this looks. Wow, a little bit more than the fan event, but not by much.
Similar to where
IMAX theater. Yeah, so you know, plenty of seating available. Again, 12 hours later, you can go and check it out. Let's see. The Dolby Cinema. I like Dolby myself personally. Let's look at the 9 o'clock show. Nope. Nothing going, nothing doing. All right.
Not a damn difference. It's like it's similar to what we got here. And I'm really curious about how Disney is going to do this because I know a couple of years ago, a lot of people exposed them for the ticket sales for the Marvels. But then at the end of the day, after checking out all those empty theaters, we found Marvel made $1 billion at the box office. How did that happen? I don't know. But yeah, Disney might have cooked the books on that one. But it's going to be near impossible for them to actually do this because there's a whole lot of people doing this across the world, you know, showing the ticket sales to their cinemas.
Let's see, like an 8:30 show, maybe the 8:30 show is a little bit better for people in their time, getting off of work. Ain't nobody coming.
Ain't nobody coming. Ain't nobody checking it out. And what about Big Tyrone? Big Tyrone, let us know what's happening in Philadelphia, brother. Let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Area. Okay. Particular theater that I go to a lot had 14 showings. Out of the 14 showings, 3, 2, 5, and 8 p.m. sold 3 seats. 3 seats each.
Seats. Right here. 3 seats. 1, 2, 3.
I said
each.
I should do a video on this. This is crazy. I said, you know what?
See, so those 3 seats, I am guessing that it is people who work at those theaters that are buying it because it's just weird that you have the same amount of seats for all the time, for all the showings. It's the same amount of seats. And if you probably check them out, it's the same exact seats. So it's probably the theaters actually buying those particular seats. So you don't have a fully empty theaters. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think about that. Anyway.
No. I'm a smaller area. Right. I live in the Philadelphia area, but I'm a smaller area where I'm at.
Yeah.
Let me get into the city. Let me find a more popular theater.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
On screen now. Okay, see. In the city, they only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 showings.
5 showings.
Okay. Not counting IMAX or, 4DX, all that other stuff. Just standard, which is what most people go to, right?
Yeah. Man, I like this guy. He's just so blasé about how he does his video. But the rest of us, we do a lot of brain racking and all that, but he's just cool, chilled, mellow. He just does his thing, just does his thing. Big Tyrone.
At 2 p.m., you have 2, 4, 5, 6. 6 seats sold.
6 sold.
Counting that right? At 4 p.m., you have 1, 2, 3 seats sold. At 5 p.m., 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 seats sold.
And note that this is in the US. We're not even talking about some faraway country, some far, far, far land, some fairy tale land like Perth, where nobody knows where we are in the world. We're not talking about that. We're talking about right there in the US, right?
7. 1, 2, 3. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 seats in that particular theater. 6 seats is all they get. And we are talking about, this is just about an hour ago from the moment of me shooting this video is when that video actually came out. So that's what's going on in real time at this particular moment. Nobody's coming to see this movie. Nobody is going out there to the theaters to see this movie. And you can blame it on so many things. You can say that it's Disney's fault for actually trying to change the storyline of the original character, pissing off feminists by trying to cast Snow White, a traditional lady and a traditional romantic story, as a boss lady and try to turn her into some kind of a Joan of Arc. You can also say you blame Disney for listening to Peter Dinklage for casting CGIs instead of 7 actual little people to play the part of the 7 dwarfs. You can blame Disney for actually trying to change everything regarding this particular movie, but it all boils down to one key thing. You can blame Disney for hiring Rachel Zegler, who have successfully become one of the most, if not the most insufferable person in all of Hollywood. She has successfully made herself into the most hated person in all of Hollywood. This movie would have done a little bit more. Maybe that projection of $55 million, it might have made it. But at this particular point in time, with the way that it is looking, it is not going to make it. And Disney has been, for the longest time, trying to hide the ticket sales to this particular movie for fear of the fact that we were going to be doing this, exposing them by exposing the theaters and the cinemas to see how many people are actually buying the tickets. I am so curious to see if Disney is going to actually do the same thing that they did with Captain Marvel back in 2019 by actually cooking the books. It will be interesting to see how Disney goes about this. But ultimately, no matter what they try to do, they said they have spent $274 million on this movie. This movie needs to make at the very least $550 million at the box office for them to recoup their money, and then above that before they actually start to make some money off of this. But if anything, by all the work programming that they've done in the past is anything to go by, this movie is not even going to make the amount of money that they claim that they actually put in that $274 million to start with. So Disney has nobody else to blame but themselves. And like I've been saying time and time again, yeah, made your bed, you goddamn lie in it.